What's up, party people? So this whole debacle with Magic Eden and optional royalties kind of has me inspired to make a video so that I can explain my understanding of things and hopefully help some folks that might be new to the space or might not necessarily fully understand what's going on here. So I will put out a disclaimer. I, like pretty much everybody here, am new to this, and there's probably certain things that I might misrepresent technically, but I'm going to do my best to put in layman's terms kind of what's happening here. So, for those of you out of the loop, Magic Eden has recently made the decision to give buyers the option to pay or not pay royalties. Now, the issue here is not necessarily that projects need royalties to survive. I think we've kind of gotten into this devolved conversation where we're talking about like, oh, how are we going to make money with zero royalties? There's ways to do it. There's a lot of ways to do it, and we've implemented a lot of them. However, my issue with this is that Magic Eden made this decision to projects that were created. Compensation structures were, negotiated based on the assumption that people were going to get these royalties. So let's take a look at metadata first. When you have an NFT, it's basically two files. You have a picture file and a metadata file. Now, the metadata on chain, which means that it is on the blockchain. So whenever it interacts with a crypto wallet, they can pull this information. And this is what Magic Eden had used to, pay creators their royalties. Is right here. If you look it up on SolScan, any NFT on the Solana blockchain, you can look it up here. This is the address of the NFT. Down here, you can click the metadata tab. And you have Metaplex metadata on chain data. It says right there. We at EdFox had initially, told essentially anybody trying to use our NFT that there is a 10% royalty. 1,000 basis points is basically 10%. These are the addresses. There's, this is a creator address, so I won't get into all that. The share is 0, but a 50% royalty was supposed to go to our artist, Ruben, because he did a lot of work. This is his art. This is his intellectual property, and we believe he should be paid for that in perpetuity, which means forever. Because again, this is just how we came up with how people are going to get paid for the work they do. Another address here, 25% goes to the community of EdFox. The EdFox community needs funds to continue to operate. It costs us money to host stuff on a website, to do things like WearFox, to build tools, to interact with the blockchain, to do giveaways. So this is community money. And then another 25%, to kind of wrap it up, goes to the Bobby Rabbit's wallet, because EdFox was made possible by the Bobby Rabbit's brand and all of the groundwork that we did before. And so we felt the Bobby Rabbit's holders, people that initially invested in us back in February, they should also be rewarded for EdFox, because EdFox was made possible by Bobby Rabbit's and the initial holders and their investments. Now, what Magic Eden has done has allowed people to decide they don't think that we deserve this money, that we shouldn't pay it. That's an emotional argument. I think a lot of people are going to get wrapped up in that, but here's where the issue is for me. Let's say that we had to hire developers and an artist that was not deeply part of the project, and we said, we're going to take all this mint money. However, don't worry, you're going to get a royalty. That is no longer an option. So there's probably projects out there. Not us. We avoided this issue, thank God. But there are projects out there that are going to run into this issue, where they had pre-negotiated contracts with people like developers and artists that helped contribute to this project, that they no longer have the money to pay these people. They're going to have to come up with another way to do it, which, that's the founder's problem or whatever. But it puts them in a bad spot, which, is just going to create an environment where people are just going to, leave their communities high and dry, which is not cool. But anyway, another thing I want to point on is one of Magic Eden's solutions for this zero royalty situation is, we'll find other ways for people to make money. One of those ways is upgradable traits. This is something that we've already pioneered with EdFox. I don't want to have a resentment towards Magic Eden for, trying to claim like, oh, this is something new. It already exists though. Foxmart, for example, your foxes, and this is kind of another thing that grinds my gears, is we don't want to charge people that already invested in an EdFox more money to upgrade their foxes. We want to reward them. We have an incentive-based program The longer you hold a fox, the more foxes you hold, the more field coins you get from staking. You can then go shopping with those field coins in the Fox Mart for traits. So, we built a lot of incentive into our project to make our holders happy. What Magic Eden is trying to do is say, I don't care that you already paid money for a fox. You're going to pay more money to make your fox cooler. I don't believe in that personally, but hey, man, if you need another form of revenue, I guess theoretically you could do it. And if people are willing to pay it, then that's on them. But here at Fox, we don't really believe in making our original investors front even more money to just, cover costs. Like, essentially that was supposed to come from making their NFTs more valuable and then us taking a cut of that. It was a very delicately designed compensation plan that has now been interfered with a central authority, Magic Eden. So that's why people are very mad. We've built tools to allow us to have this marketplace where people can buy traits. Then, you can go to this upgrade your Fox tool that we also had to develop, where people can, choose a fox and choose which trait they want to give to that specific fox and upgrade it. So, with that being said, how is this possible? One of the co-founders of Solana recently chimed in saying, I think NFTs should be immutable and people should be due royalties and it should be enforced. I kind of agree with the enforced part because, like we said, this was part of our plan. It's on the metadata, it's on chain. We basically say right here, like, the whole roadmap, part of our business plan is that we understood, or we thought we understood, we were going to be getting 10% of sales. And, it's a decision that people make when they trade these things. You just are aware that there is a royalty. Giving, the traders the option to pay or not pay it is ridiculous. Nobody's going to pay for something that they don't have to pay for. Some people might, but come on, let's be real. So, what is immutable versus mutable information? Immutable means you cannot change this information. It is stuck. Some of this metadata here, such as, the trait, the red body of this fox, or the silly mouth, those things are mutable, which means that we can change it. That's what allows us to do things like upgrade your traits. There's probably other ways to do it. Again, I said I'm not like all knowing here. There's probably ways to provide upgraded traits for immutable NFTs, but the way that we solved this problem with the information we had when we solved it was that these traits are mutable. We can update it. And so if you look over here on the right, we have two different lists, moon off and full moon. We have a program called WereFox, where if a fox drinks a potion, which you saw on that last page here, we add it to this full moon list. Let's take a look at one of these guys, for example. If you feed a basic fox a potion, they get this frothy look on their mouth and some scrambly, crazy eyes. And that is to indicate that they are primed for the WereFox situation. So, for example, my apologies. We store, earlier at the beginning, I said there's two files, a picture file and a metadata file. Those are both stored on the internet, on the cloud. It's basically like Google Drive. You can look up, we use Arweave to store some of these metadata files, like you see here, and some of the images. Within the metadata, it tells you which image to show a person's wallet. So if you have Phantom Wallet or Soulflare or whatever, whenever your token ID is pulled up, that's this ID right here. It basically, tells it to pull this metadata file. This metadata file then in turn tells your wallet which picture to show you. So let's take a look at what picture this one is showing. This is a fed fox. As you can see, his mouth is all frothy, his eyes are all scrambly. So if I go to the full moon, you can see this is the same NFT, the same token ID, but if you'll notice below, that metadata file changes. Because it is mutable, we have a way to run a command to update the metadata of that particular token. We've built a program. Our program can, import data from the Weather Channel, for example, that says, if the lunar calendar says the moon is more than 90% full, then run a command and change the list, pick this list and update all of these tokens with these new links. So let's take a look at that. For example, the metadata file looks like gibberish to most people, but here again, the image that is in this metadata that it tells your wallet to display you is maybe a different image. Let's take a look again. This is the fed fox. We can say if the moon is full, then pull from this other list, update the metadata, and let's take a look what you see then. boom, aware fox. So, it's magical to people where they look at their wallet and you look outside and the moon is full. And if the moon is full, then, this fox becomes this fox. And then when the moon is no longer full, we run a command to update to the moon off list. And all of a sudden it goes back to, pre-fox. This is technology. These are mechanisms that can be used a whole bunch of different ways. So we won't dive into it on this video. However, when you talk about 0% royalties and royalties being the only way, that's ridiculous. The way that we're going to make money here at Ed Fox and Bobby Rabbits is we are proving that this technology can be used to update on-chain data. We can make these updates if it's mutable data. Again, mutable versus immutable. Can it be changed or is it permanent? And we could apply this to really boring like supply chain situations and save companies tens of millions of dollars. That's where the real value is in our project. And I think people will realize that due to this royalty situation, that it's not all about this pyramid scheme of royalties. But again, the real issue is that they did this without our consent. They gave people the option to not pay these artists the compensation that they were told they were going to get, or that was part of the negotiation. When we design these projects, we design them based on a certain set of information that we think is going to be true. So when that changes, it kind of screws some stuff up. But anyway, I hope that was informative. There's a whole lot going on here. But the technology behind this, again, is quite complex, and that's going to lead to a bunch of these arguments about what it should or shouldn't do or be or whatever. But just keep learning. Stay tuned. DYOR, do your own research, try to figure this stuff out, and it's going to become more clear in time, why this stuff is important. It's not just about playing with cartoon character, like foxes and rabbits and whatever. It is a proof of concept for a technology that could change the entire economy. So, hopefully you will see what we plan to do with this technology, but for now, this is how we're using it, and, we could get real deep down the rabbit hole on this one, no pun intended, but I'll wrap this video up with that. See you later.